Do you know your Winnipeg monuments? Maybe you've driven past this one every day and you've never figured out what it was for. I'm Matthew McRae. I'm a PhD candidate at Western University in London, Ontario, and I study how we remember the past. Would you be surprised if I told you that this is the monument for Winnipeg's first conflict? That is the 1885 conflict with Louis Riel and the Métis, often known as the 1885 Rebellion, Resistance, Uprising. It's got a lot of names nowadays. But this statue isn't to commemorate Louis Riel or to commemorate the heroic resistance of the Métis. No, this is a statue to commemorate the Winnipeg 90th Rifles, now known as the Royal Winnipeg Rifles. It was erected immediately after the rebellion in 1886, on September 28th, when all the dignitaries came and unveiled this huge statue in front of City Hall. And there it stood for many, many years as Winnipeg's premier war monument until 1962, when it was moved across the street to make way for the construction of the new City Hall. It was moved again to make room for Centennial Concert Hall, just off to my left. For many years, the veterans of the 1885 campaign, that is the Canadian veterans, were the heroes of Canada. Over 5,000 served and about 360 or so marched out west from the Royal Winnipeg Rifles and fought at the battles of Fish Creek and Batoche, where Louis Riel was defeated and captured. So this statue here is to commemorate Canada, that is, crushing the Métis rebellion and basically suppressing any kind of resistance to white settlement of the West. The statue was first dedicated in 1886 on September 28th, when all the city's dignitaries, the lieutenant governor, the prominent citizens of the town, the mayor, came together to unveil the statue that was commemorating the brave soldiers that had fought against Riel. J.H. Ashdown, a prominent businessman, he had the following to say about this monument. "And in the future, be it near or far distant, the forces of Canada, when they are called upon to take up arms to maintain the integrity of their country, they can ask for no higher standard. They can look to no more noble example of unflinching devotion to duty than is afforded by the heroic lives that ebbed away on the banks of the Saskatchewan, and whose memory we are met this day to perpetuate." Nowadays, almost no one remembers what the statue is for, and nobody remembers the heroes of 1885. And now you know the story of the statue with the man in the pointy hat. And this story, I think, is something that should be remembered. We should always discuss our history. We should always rethink our history. This is why we have now a statue of Louis Riel on the grounds of the legislature, and that's not a bad thing. It's also not a bad thing that we have this statue here to remind us of how we used to think. But the soldiers on the other side, the Métis, Indigenous people who suffered as a result of the rebellion and as a result of what followed, there is no monument that I'm aware of commemorating them. So where do we go from here? Well, that's the discussion that I think we still need to have.